I don't have any tooth. I'll admit it. I will brag. Those players did not just go and whip that ass for us to be like, oh, good game. No, we whipped your ass. We took $800,000. Now we're going to party with you.
Yeah, who cares if you're in the Power 5 conference if you don't win it ever? Or you don't beat any of the teams in it? Like, what's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather win the conference and say, like, hey, my team is good, than lose the conference and say, well, our conference is good?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got two teams that got me gassed up. It's going to be a hell of a battle. Be like two dogs fighting over a milk bun.
Look, they don't call me Tip for nothing. And my tip is, look out for the group of 5 this season. They've been taking it to the Power 5 year after year.
The only quarterbacks that ever get any love are from the Power 5. I could easily list off the top group of 5 quarterbacks I would rather have than those guys. I would be willing to bet that at least one of them is going to be in the running for the Heisman this year.
We're back. Episode 10, we hit double digits. It's incredible to be here. We had a great time in Murfreesboro, Tennessee this past weekend. I can't wait to recap that and talk about all the exciting stuff. Upsets. Group of 5 is going to make the playoffs, boys. I'm calling it right here, right now. We're going to do it. Let's check in on everybody.
Playoffs?
Yes. You're damn right. Jesse Grisham, it's good to see you. You're in a different environment tonight. How are you?
Yeah, great to be here, Sprouse. Sitting in the old guest bedroom of the old Mom and Paul's house. Got to say, I have a little FOMO for missing out with the old Blue Raiders. But it looks like you boys had a hell of a good time. I was on it down at a wedding and just keeping up with the scores on my phone and just losing money left and right. Crazy weekend in the group of 5. Crazy weekend. A lot to talk about.
I got a stat for you. So far this year, group of 5 guys are 3-0 for the home team. When we have come to town, we've won. So, ADs, coaches, if you're looking for maybe a little superstition, maybe something to rally the boys, hey, get the group of 5 guys on that field. You'll win it.
Probably a skybox, win by 3, steak, filet mignon, win by 4 touchdowns.
Probably so. Well, going over to Tyler Tipton, as always, it's a pleasure. How are we this evening?
Doing fantastic, Sprouse. Great to see you boys. Great week 5 this past weekend. Great time in MTSU, and excited to talk about these week 6 games.
Yeah, Zeke, I'm sure you've got some stories for us, chomping at the bit once again. Hold off for just a minute, though. It's always good to see you.
Yeah. Fired up for the Blue Raiders, and hats off to those guys. We'll get to my stories after that. So,
and then
Sorry.
You all right?
I chugged a beer right before the show, and it was just a bubble. It was sitting right there in my chest, my cavity, and it just came out of nowhere like a volcano. Yellowstone. All right. How are you, Jeff?
Jeff, how are you, sir?
Good God, Grisham, I can't even deal with you. Sprouse, I'm outstanding, man. All I gotta say is the Blue Raiders rode on Saturday. Chase Cunningham, he's the equalizer. Since they have put him in at quarterback behind the helm, they have become a different team, and you can see it offensively. You can see it defensively. You can see it special teams. Those guys love that kid. And we actually had a little group of 5 exclusive.
Yeah,
had them mic'd up, and this was right after halftime. Because if you were there, you Marshall fans were there. Murfreesboro monsoon came rolling through.
Yeah.
Rain was coming sideways all over the place, but let's check this out. Chase Cunningham mic'd up. After that, he proceeded to just go nuts and led the Blue Raiders to a win, man. It was awesome. An awesome atmosphere. Tough game in the rain, but it was great. Another group of 5, big-time ball game, big-time win.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who was the quarterback that quit last week or 2 weeks ago? What was his name?
Bailey Hockman.
I hope he's sitting there just rocking back and forth, just regretting every decision he ever made.
Yeah, well, team's definitely rallying around Cunningham right now, and we'll get into our breakdown, kind of that whole game day experience in Murfreesboro. We're going to get into some of the other games. We're going to talk about. We've got to talk about Cincinnati and just putting Notre Dame. Just whipped them, start to finish, unbelievable. So we'll talk about that, and then of course we'll make our picks and projections, and we'll get into Zeke's parlay. Made a little money this past weekend. I'm sure we'll make a little bit more this coming weekend. But before we do that, of course, I mean, you may have seen Facebook and Instagram we thought we lost it here today. It was down all day today, but it's back. So follow us on all the social medias at Group of Five Guys. Make sure you like and subscribe.
I just thought we had bad internet at my parents' house, so it was actually down.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Somebody
I was over here yelling at
supposedly.
my mom and dad. It's like, what kind of internet got here? Okay, well, I gotta apologize to them after the show.
Yeah, somebody supposedly hacked the code. Look, I don't know about this stuff.
From what I
push
read, somebody accidentally deleted some type of coding, which it gets into the weeds, but essentially they were basically locked out of their own system for like hours.
Yeah, well, and then they had. We can get into that, but some kind of whistleblower or something that said something wasn't supposed to be said, and the next thing you know, Facebook and Instagram are down for like 8 hours today. Twitter was always there. YouTube was always there. So just in case they go out again, make sure you follow us on the Twitter and subscribe, like, and share on the YouTube. And then you can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Do you say that to be funny? I was just always curious. Like, do you mean to say the Twitter or just follow us on Twitter?
Yeah. I usually say what I mean and mean what I say.
Understood.
Do you mean to say atrocious and
yes.
things of that nature?
I was
Okay. Well, hey.
100%.
Hey.
Follow us
All
on
right.
the Twitter.
No problem. All right. Well, hey, let's recap this Murfreesboro trip. So to hedge this bet a little bit, the rain put a real damper on the actual game itself. But starting out, we all know Murfreesboro so well, and I think still as far as your best sports bar, I know me and Zeke caught up at the Boulevard for lunch, had some beers, had some food. That place, as far as that pregame or postgame spots, pretty damn good still.
Then Boulevard is always fantastic.
Yeah, that's the spot.
Yeah, and then there's no doubt we're going to do a shameless plug. If you're looking for a little quicker bite and maybe just a bottle beer, our own Jeff Murphy is the owner of Domenico's Italian Deli right on the downtown square. Best hot pastrami. There's no doubt about it, that place. And I had to go by there, grab me a sandwich there too. So hopefully some Marshall fans got to experience both of those, and then everybody in Murfreesboro continue to support both of those local businesses that are true supporters of your Blue Raiders, unlike some of the other folks around there. And then, we get out to the tailgate, and I'll say, man, we were talking bad about Middle Tennessee last week. We really were. After our App State and Charlotte trips, we were down on the environment in Murfreesboro. But I got to say, man, the Greeks were out on the tailgating. Now, whether or not they went to the game, we don't know. But the tailgate was definitely rolling. We were running around, passing out koozies, talking to people, shaking hands, and me and Zeke a couple times felt like we were a little bit out of our environment there, as they were having a bit of a dance party out there in the middle.
Sprouse was trying to push me in the middle of the dance circle.
Well, if it was a couple hours later on in the evening, I'm 100% certain you'd have got out there and maybe did some splits or something like that. But
that would have been a lock for sure.
Yeah, but you go. The tailgates were good, and then the game. I gotta say, the student section was decent pregame, and it was better than we thought. I think the biggest issue there, and we were talking about the music at Charlotte and App State being loud and, catering to the students, catering to the players. And I actually thought it kind of was. Where Middle needs to upgrade is just the sound system itself. The bass is not quite there. It's not loud enough. And I think that was a little bit lacking on that aspect.
Yeah, either that or the sound engineer needs to crank that bass up. One of the two.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you might be right on that, because sometimes it did feel like it was loud. You'd be like, oh, okay, here we go. And then other times it would kind of go back to, sound like when somebody's got their car radio turned all the way up with no bass on. That's what it would sound like.
And I'll say this: I think we, as mentioned, App State and Charlotte coming off that, we probably didn't expect a whole lot from Middle Tennessee's environment. But I'll tell you one thing that doesn't shy away is the locker room environment. Regardless of what they have around them from a facility standpoint, the locker room environment, what that coaching staff and Coach Stock has done, that post-game celebration was just as fun as App State, Charlotte, and any of the others. So, they're at a little bit of disadvantage with the facilities, but I tell you what, that coaching staff creates a hell of a culture after a win. That was fun to celebrate with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's like nothing like it. I don't want to sound like some old guy here, but there's nothing like seeing like the pure excitement and just happiness after a group of guys gets a big win like that. And I mean, I think Coach Stock said it in his, when he was talking to the team, like when you've worked extra hard that week and then it comes to fruition with a win and in all of our eyes, except you, Jeff, an upset against the favorite in the conference. I mean, they were so pumped. I mean,
hey, as the guy that wasn't there,
it should be.
Sorry, as the guy that wasn't there, and I think of all five of us, I was probably the biggest doubter of the whole game. When I watched Marshall play App State, I was just blown away. And MTSU, when they lost to Charlotte, I honestly thought, love you, Coach Stock. I think he's one of the best coaches out there. I thought that was going to demoralize that team. But hey, like Jeff said, Chase Cunningham, he's a leader. And those guys obviously they bounced back. They probably saved their season. As Sprouse was looking at their schedule for the rest of the year, we got a lot of winnable games out there. We got a big one next week. So, but it was really exciting just from this side of the country. Was looking at them beating Marshall. My mouth I just dropped. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And going back to the
that was a huge win for sure. And sorry, Sprouse, real quick. One thing, especially after this week, and we'll recap some of the other games too. I mean, their schedule looks winnable, but every week, and we saw a bunch of teams this week we thought were going to be, some easy lot games. Every week's going to be a dogfight. We're in conference now. Yep. Everyone's battling for the same thing. If you don't bring it every week, you're going to get caught slipping and lose a game that's going to cost you a bid to conference championship.
Yeah, that's right. And like, Jesse and Murphy, you guys both said, for middle, I mean, you can just tell that they've rallied around their quarterback, and they gave him the game ball after the game in the locker room. The players picked him up on their shoulders. I mean, so that Charlotte game, while it could have been demoralizing, I think they realized that, like, we got a guy that we believe in and that the players believe in, more importantly. And, I mean, that they came out, I mean, they were up 28-7 quick in that game. And then the rain started, and then it kind of was just a battle of field position and turnovers. And their defense I think they had 6 turnovers, including huge one on I think it was a 90-plus yard scoop and score by Blankenship. So that was a cool game. But going back to the facilities, some of their stuff is nice, right? Like the weight room is pretty solid. The issue that they have is they don't have anything that's only football. So if that weight room was just football or just, so-called revenue sports, it wouldn't be that bad. It's decent size. They got turf. They got relatively new equipment. But you're just sharing it with, I don't know how many sports they got at that school, where you look at what App State had and Charlotte had, that's just football. Just football only. The nutrition center and the shakes and stuff after the games and all that whole building and area is just football, and that's what they don't have at Middle Tennessee. So that's, and I mean, we've, Jesse talked to the athletic director, and I
was over here biting my tongue. I was like, I don't know if I should let this out or not, but I did speak with the AD Chris Massaro at Charlotte. Zeke was right there beside me, and he tried to make a valid point to let me know that I'm not going to give too much details, but there's something in the works to make upgrades for football towards that end zone where the weight room is. Again, I don't want to say what all is going to happen because I haven't seen a shovel. What Sprouse say? You haven't seen a shovel in dirt yet. So
put a shovel in the dirt, man.
but there's something circulating to have some big upgrades. Zeke, what are your thoughts? You heard what I think you heard everything he said.
Yeah, I heard what he said. He said, Jesse Grisham, quit talking shit about me on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He noticed Jesse wasn't there. He got a little bit more excited to see us this past weekend.
Look, man, that the place needs upgrades. You know, I went on a huge tangent about it 3 weeks ago, and I hope something happens, you know, the next few years. You know, put a shovel in the dirt, man. These players deserve it, especially as hard as they're playing, the way the coaches are coaching. You know, coaching their ass off out here. They're playing their ass off out here. You know, let's reward them. Let's get better players. Let's get more wins. So that's all I have to say about that.
Let's go back to the momentum after that Blue Raider win, and then we'll move on. But I got to tell y'all, I was fired up after that win. I don't think it's any secret that I'm a Murfreesboro homer, born and raised there, and played at the Blue Raiders. And my dad lives there, so I was staying at my dad's house that night. And this is one I hadn't even told y'all yet. So after that Blue Raider win, you know, I got fired up. Tip and I decided to go to Gentleman Jim's, which is a local college bar there, which we spent many times there. And I'm buying 20 shots at a time, just out of control. And then I guess for those of y'all that don't know, you got to eat the worm at Gentleman Jim's. But if you do eat the worm, you pretty much are blacked out for the night. So I guess I'll lead into how I ended up my night. After I ate the worm, I was blackout. And I have a brief memory of being at Handlebars, which is basically your local Waffle House.
No, it ain't. Oh, no. Handlebar ain't no Waffle House, Zeke.
Does Waffle House have a karaoke?
I'd like 6 Bud Lights and a ham and cheese omelet, please.
In the past, you would rate your night by, if you ended up at Handlebars, you probably had a 10 out of 10 night.
And well, here's what you can still do at Handlebars. You can still go to the cigarette machine and put $1 in and get you a pack of Sags. So I don't recall. I vaguely remember Handlebars, but this is kind of ridiculous. So I woke up. My dad had just moved into a new house. I had only been there pregame. So he moves into this house and I'm staying there. He's out of town. And I guess I just come in drunk and I decided to pass out on the couch. Well, I wake up and I've got my group of 5 polo on, cowboy hat, and no pants on or boxers. And I'm just sitting there on the couch. I'm like, thank God that they're out of town. So I'm sitting there and there's a dog looking at me and I'm like, shit, the other dog's outside. I must have let the other dog out. This dog's sitting here looking at me like, I got to piss. And so I'm like, well, shit, I got to piss too. I don't know where the bathroom is. So I walk outside, just group of 5 guys, polo on, hat, no pants, nothing below the waist. I get out there, get ready to take a piss, and I hear this raspy ass cough, and I'm like, the hell? My granny's over there. She came to let the dogs out. She's over there ripping a cigarette, and I'm out there bare ass. So I had to cover up real quick, and I was like, damn it, Granny. I go back inside, and I'm thinking, damn, Granny had to walk through the living room. She looks over at me, just seeing me bawling out on the couch. I had no pants on. And Granny has come to let the dogs out and seeing her grandson with no pants on. Spread eagle on
But
the
she
couch.
did see the group of 5
Yes, she
logo,
did.
and that's what's important.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. She's probably
I
thinking,
don't want to dig too. You think you sleep bare assed? Is that
No, I don't know how I got my pants on. Must have been the worm. But
worm
I
had to get
couldn't.
out somehow?
I just don't know. There's a bed there, and I didn't make it to the bed. And somehow I had a fight with my pants and got them off.
That happens.
well, that could have been a lot worse. I mean, if but geez.
Honestly, when you
Well,
said
there was not
pants off,
supposed to
2
be
dogs, I didn't know.
there wasn't supposed to be anybody home. So who let the dogs out? Granny.
Oh man, well, hey,
I
back
thought
to
he said he fell
Murfreesboro.
asleep with a cigarette in his mouth and is smoking in his dad's new house.
Yeah. Yeah, that went a little bit. I wasn't real sure where that was ending up. You went to the cigarette machine and then
Yeah, he went from cigarettes to pants being handlebars. will
I'm
do it.
embarrassed. I mean, think about the next time. Think about when Christmas rolls around, Thanksgiving. Granny is not going to be able to look at me the same way.
Eventually, she's going to tell that story.
yeah, she thinks now that the group of 5 guys are a bad influence on Zeke Anderson, but well, we know.
I agree
the
with
truth.
Jeff, though. At least she saw the logo. That's all that matters. That's the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, good job. Hey, great marketing by you, Zeke. I mean, we
She'll
certainly
never forget.
appreciate
She'll
the
never
effort.
forget it. So,
Yeah, I was
every
wondering
time
who
she sees
that.
the group of 5 guy V, she'll be like, "Oh,
Wondering who that new follower we just got on Twitter was. A bit older lady. But back to back to Murfreesboro a little bit. So we talk about the facilities. The stadium itself is not bad. I mean, Floyd Stadium is a great stadium. There's not really a bad seat in the house. And the students, in their defense, they were there, a decent showing, and then it just started. I mean, it was.
that was my biggest question." Do you think the rain had something to do with it? Like, I mean, people. I know MTSU has the what was I say? The consistency of having a good tailgate and going to a sports bar. But do you think if it would have been pretty weather, they'd have had better tenants?
Well, it was decent. I mean, for the first quarter, and when I say decent, it wasn't anything like Charlotte or App State, but
Okay.
it was. They did the blackout game, so it was kind of one of their. I don't want to call it a gimmick game, but you had the blackout. You have a big time opponent coming in, so I think that played into a decent crowd. But then after the first quarter, I mean, it was a downpour. I mean, we were in the open air box, and it was like blowing into the box. I mean, it was
bad.
It was a tough outing. But plus, I think some of the bigger SEC games that would be competing with it were the noon, were the early games. So I think that potentially helped with some students going. But it's an all right showing. And then, like I said, the music wasn't bad. I think that's part of it is having situational music. I do get a little bit tired. They play Hell's Bells every single third down, and I think they've been doing that for about 25 years, and that could afford to be adjusted if I was in charge there.
Hell's Bells, but you could definitely switch it up.
Yeah, you could play something a little different every here and there.
Yeah.
I like Charlotte's
sure.
down song. Anyway.
Yeah, but they've
Jesse,
done.
you can follow up with Massaro on that, right?
Yeah, I'll call him right after this.
Yeah, and I mean they've done what they can with facilities. Some of it is, they've put some pictures and murals and stuff up that look pretty cool. And then what I will say they've done a great job is we talked to Wes Hofacker and they've done the varsity club, which we've talked about catering to some alumni. And we were talking to him and what they start the varsity club a couple months ago. So something they've been missing out on for all these years.
He took it over. He took it over this year.
Well,
so they've had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put it this way. Nobody knew they had it. So
pretty much, yeah, exactly.
So I think Wes he said they've gotten a couple hundred members and, they're getting close to, I don't know if we're allowed to say the numbers, but close to like 50 grand in just a couple months, just from former players giving $100, $200 at a time. And it's funny because you look at what he was saying is like, it's amazing how people are willing to give if they just get something in return. And what do you get? You give $100 and you get a couple beers and 2 tickets. And I mean,
yeah, they got a DJ over there before the game. They got food over there. They got beer. They got a nice little setup over there. Wes, I couldn't be happier with what Wes is doing over there. He's doing a great job.
Yeah. So thanks to obviously Coach Stock and the coaches and the players. I mean, we love you guys. So thanks for you guys showing us some hospitality. We certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to maybe the next couple of weeks when some breaking news may come out that Jesse may have the inside scoop on. We talk about the rest of week 5. I mean, biggest game of the weekend and potentially of the year. Cincinnati just smacked Notre Dame. And it was at Notre Dame. And Desmond Ridder actually came out. I don't know if you saw the post-game interview. They asked him if that was the craziest environment he's ever played in. He said, no, it was when game day went to UCF a couple years ago. So he, after the win, took a deuce on that Notre Dame crowd. But they got to be. I mean, we got 6.
Joey Chestnut was there.
I've been a big, more of a Kobayashi guy myself. After that, he's wearing a bright green shirt.
Hey,
with
I've
on it.
been a huge Joey Chestnut fan for a long time, but you were on the wrong side of that one.
Yeah, ain't no doubt about that. But Cincinnati's got to be on the right side of the college football playoff.
They have to be.
Absolutely.
Sprouse,
I'm
nervous about it.
We can't be, what a lot of good Group of 5 teams do now. I'm not looking at their schedule, but they can't just go and play, Temple in a couple of weeks and just lay an egg. They
play Temple.
Stay
They play
focused.
Temple
They
this
stay
week.
focused. Went out. Oh, they do. So they got to stay focused. Went out because I could
don't
easily
pull
see
Memphis.
someone sneak up on them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
God bless. I mean, this football season is just.
I mean, I really hate to say it, but you got to root for Notre Dame to win the rest of the way, which I can't believe I'm going to say it, but it's good that they beat Wisconsin, and they beat Wisconsin handily 2 weeks ago. So the narrative that they're overrated, I'm sure now is when the media is going to come out with that narrative. They never
Oregon
say
lost. I mean, you had the top teams lost. Cincinnati, they're in there. If they went out,
this weekend was wild, dude.
They're in there if they went out.
And I know the coaches poll and the AP poll is different from the playoff poll, but you're already seeing Ohio State's creeping back up there already. And you're seeing they got Penn State and Iowa at 3 and 4, which I think they play this weekend.
They play each other this weekend. So that's the one positive short-term look for Cincinnati is as long as they win this weekend, Cincinnati's gonna be in the top 4. They'll probably move up to. Probably 4.
I'm not even gonna entertain this. They can't. They're top. They're set number 7 in the country. They just beat Notre Dame. They beat Indiana. They're going. If they win out the rest of their games, and Oregon lost, Ohio State lost, Clemson's lost too, they have to be in. If
I'm terrified about it. I'm just terrified because
they just can't lose. They lose, they're done.
I can see a scenario where if you have an undefeated Big 12 champion Oklahoma, which we've said every single week so far this season, they have not looked that good at all. But it is so much of what have you done for me lately? If Cincinnati wins out, Oklahoma wins out, and maybe plays a great game in the Big 12 championship, it's that 4 spot, that 4 seed is going to come down to Cincinnati and Oklahoma at that point.
Well, you gotta hope that. I mean, I don't necessarily worry about that because if you get an undefeated Oklahoma, then whatever, they probably deserve to be in there too. What I worry about is a 1-loss Ohio State or a 1-loss Oregon or a 1 or 2-loss Georgia. Because that's what I worry about.
I mean, realistically, here's what could happen. So, I mean, you have Alabama at 1, Georgia at 2. If both of those teams stay undefeated the rest of the season, they're going to play each other in the SEC championship game. So one of those teams will have a loss.
Yeah, but they'll both get in.
They'll both go in.
They'll both get in.
Barring one of them,
right there.
The loser will move to 4.
Right, and they'll play it again.
Yeah,
that's fine. But there's no Big 10 team right now that I'm worried about taking Cincinnati's spot. There's no.
I'm worried about that because you have in the Big 10 right now in the top 11. Michigan. You have Iowa, you have Penn State, you have Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State. All those teams are in the top 11. Now they're going to start playing each other here in the next few weeks. So they're going to start beating each other. But it's just that one of those teams, I feel like, because of the strength of schedule, and they played all these top 10 teams, I think the champion of the Big 10 is going to get one of those spots.
Iowa chokes. Jim Harbaugh eats boogers, and Oklahoma has Spencer Rattler. He'll lose. He's going to lose to Texas this weekend. Cincinnati win out. You're in the playoffs. You're fine. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
next subject.
You handle your business if you're Cincinnati.
Right. Handle your business.
That's all you can really do.
You're obviously one of the best teams in the country. Sorry, Sprouse.
What you probably need too is you need SMU to remain undefeated until Cincinnati. You need some of these. Memphis losing hurt Cincinnati, UCF losing hurt Cincinnati, because those are games that potentially would have been top 25 wins for Cincinnati. So, I mean, and hell, you can't just talk about Cincinnati right now. I mean, you got 5 other undefeateds. Well, SMU, I mean, hell, if SMU is undefeated and they beat number 4 Cincinnati.
I totally agree. I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Yeah, no. There's good teams. The group of 5. You're right, bro.
Yeah, and then I think UTSA. We were high on UTSA, and I mean they're in the driver's seat in Conference USA with a big win this weekend. So you can't count them out. They won't have the brand name win over beating Notre Dame on the road is potentially the best win in the regular season that Group of 5 could have had. I mean,
well, the thing is too is that they didn't just win, like
right?
They beat
It's
their
how
ass.
they won. Yeah,
17-0 at halftime.
Yeah. So I mean,
for our listeners, Sprouse, do we know the 5 undefeated? Sorry, it's UTSA, Cincinnati, SMU, Wyoming,
San Diego State,
Mountain West. We got them over there. Just
are we missing one?
Quiet. I think that's it. South Alabama lost and
barely.
No,
Cincinnati, SMU,
Coastal.
Oh, Coastal. Oh, sorry, Coastal. So, okay, Coastal.
Well, yeah.
Sorry about coming Coastal.
I mean,
they're pretty good too.
Y'all ready to get on that Coastal train yet, or y'all still want to talk shit?
I had
still talking.
That was the worst pick I ever had in my life.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll get to the picks later.
Well, yeah. Before we get to the picks, let's get to the weekly Atrocious Award. Mm-hmm. Jesse, I mean, I think.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to 2. I mean, Atrocious is a word that I don't think I came up with it. I've always said it, but it's just really bad. It's really bad. When I say atrocious, it's embarrassing. It's disheartening. It's cruel, and it's just punishment towards whatever you want to talk about. Atrocious. And there's 2 things that are atrocious. It's atrocious. There's 2 things that are atrocious. One of them's gonna be real quick. UCF, you lost me a lot of money this week. A lot of money. And I'm Gus Malzahn coming from Auburn, beating Nick Saban, Mr. Blonde-haired, blonde tip. I know how to run crazy offenses. You can't stop Navy, a winless team. You had 2 weeks to prepare for it. I know you're an offensive guy, but your D coordinator comes up with a 3-man front trying to stop an option that's getting 4 yards every play. It was hard to watch. It was atrocious. It was embarrassing. I mean, fire the guy, hire me. Get a 4 or 5-man front. Let's key on the quarterback. Let's lock down the running back. Make them throw the ball. I would rather get beat by a play action, toss 50-yard bomb, but they're going to run 4 yards up the middle every play. And plus, your offense looked okay. Your offense looked okay. I can't talk about it. Your defense was terrible. Your UCF looked atrocious. But here's the deal. Here's the real atrocious award, Sprouse. I don't know anything about football. I get the atrocious award because every prediction I've made for the Group of 5 this year has been atrocious. I literally watched Tulsa the other night, and I was sitting with my father, and he just looked at me in disgust. He was like, "You thought they were going to be the best Group of 5 team this year?" And I looked at my dad like, it looked like I struck out 3 times. He was so mad at me. He was just looking at me like, I mean, come on, if you're going to get a podcast, know what you're talking about.
He had the same look that he had at you when you were putting down that tower of beer at the bar in New York City.
Exactly. No, he was just like, I mean, I thought you said Tulsa was going to be good. I was like, Dad, I did too. I thought they were going to be good. But, I was wrong about them. I was wrong about Louisiana beating Texas. I've been wrong about Coastal being overrated this year. I've been wrong about I've been wrong on so many accounts. My picks have not been consistent. So here's the deal. I'm a swag bear. I watch football. I don't know it. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. I'm atrocious.
Well, that may be, for those of you that don't know Jesse Grisham well, that may be the first time he has admitted his wrongdoings.
I'm impressed.
And live on air, he did it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the Tulsa's bad.
I'm proud
of you. No, they're dark horse, right?
Dark horse, yeah.
Their ass is dark and blue, getting whipped. I don't know.
Over under how many beers are you chugging in UAB next week?
Oh, here's the deal. I was wrong about UAB too. I thought they were going to come in a new stadium, and I thought they were going to handle Liberty. Liberty goes in there and just says,
"I did too, though."
Liberty looked good.
So but I think I'm going in there. Out the University of Alabama, Birmingham. I'm excited about it. They're going to ignore last weekend. This is the first game.
Yeah, conference game.
Yeah, conference game.
No doubt.
No, I'm 15.
Plus, we'll be there. So we ain't
Me and
lost a home
Sprouse will
game
be
yet.
there.
UAB fans, I hope that you hold him to that number because you're going to see an animal you've never seen before.
I'm gonna rip this shirt. I'm fired up though. I'm excited. I'm excited to be at UAB this weekend, and then Murph and Zeke will be at West Kentucky.
That's a big game.
And possibly
That's a huge game.
Dude, Bailey Zappi is slinging that ball around right now.
I love it. The 5 wide, man. Spread them out. Make them make a decision.
Yeah, that's so. Well, let's get into these games. So, and let's start right there in Conference USA because we'll both be checking out games. So you got first one. Okay, you got Charlotte is -3.5. I think that's a low number at Florida International. Jesse, what you got?
They'll bounce back from that Illinois loss. They actually played Illinois really good. So
Yeah.
I think Charlotte's really good. They go to FIU, and I think they'll cover that.
Yeah, Tip.
I agree exactly with what Jesse said. I got Charlotte, and I think they'll cover.
Murph.
Agreed. Charlotte, take the 3.5.
I like it. Zeke.
Charlotte covers, baby.
Yeah, I like it. Charlotte. Will Healy will bounce them back real quick. Old Dominion at Marshall. Marshall's -19.5. Are they going to bounce back from 3 just brutal games, Jesse?
I wouldn't listen to me because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think I still think they're a really good football team, and they're probably embarrassed from this last week. And I think Old Dominion, they may not even show up on the field because Marshall's they're going to cover. They're going to cover.
Tip.
Yeah, Marshall big.
Murph.
Marshall at home. Yeah, and I think they take care of the spread there.
Zeke.
Marshall cover. Sherrod Everett.
Are we coming to see old Sherrod?
I got to
At some point, we got to get up there.
We got to get up there to see Sherrod.
We've been catching all these Marshall away games, and we're causing them to lose. So we got to catch a home game for them. But I think, I mean, they got to get home. I mean, they lose the heartbreaker at App State. They lose the heartbreaker at Middle. They got to get home in front of their home crowd. They'll bounce back. Team. I like it too. Another 19.5 point spread. You got Middle Tennessee's at Liberty. Jess?
I have not picked Middle Tennessee State to win a game yet. I don't think, and it's not going to start today. I think Liberty's too good.
Tip.
I'm going to go with Liberty, but I think it's close. I think MTSU keeps it close. Chase Cunningham's the real deal.
Murph.
Blue Raiders are riding high. They found their quarterback. They are going to Liberty, and they're going to hit that upset. Take the Blue Raiders.
Zeke.
I'll take the Blue Raiders in the points is what I'll take. And maybe even the over.
Yeah.
But I got Liberty to win the game.
Yeah, I think Liberty wins. I think Malik Willis is going to be tough for them. I think, MTSU kind of struggles to tackle. They miss a few too many tackles. I think he's going to be a problem. But I do think it's closer than 19.5. We will be there, Jesse Grisham, Florida Atlantic at UAB. UAB's -5.
Take UAB, baby. Just because we're going to be there. Home field advantage. It's good. I like UAB. I like them.
Tip.
Take it.
UAB and the group of 5 count goes to 4-0.
Murph.
Yeah, I'm with you boys. UAB and they cover. UAB is a good team.
Zeke.
UAB. That's a safe cover.
I like UAB. I like another close game. We hadn't seen a blowout yet. So
damn Florida native.
Nah, look.
Get off the Florida favorites.
FAU. No. I think UAB wins the game, but I think really close. N'Kosi Perry had a field day against FIU last week, so they're hot. I mean, this is a big conference game. Both teams 1-0 in the conference. Pick'em game. UTEP at Southern Miss. UTEP's 4-1. So
Sneaky.
Bet you never thought you'd hear anybody say that. Jesse, who you got there?
Wait a minute. Who's 4-1?
University of Texas, El Paso, the Miners.
Again, I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm taking UTEP then.
Tip.
UTEP's going to go 5-1. I'm going UTEP.
Murph.
Yeah, UTEP.
Zeke.
Get your pillows out. I am going. This is a pillow fight, but I think Southern Miss is due. They're liable to win one, so I'm gonna go with the Southern Miss upset.
I like it. I'm going to take UTEP. Southern Miss, I'm with you. They're getting better. They're getting close, but I think UTEP's super confident, and they probably haven't been in a long time. I think they ride that win. The rest of you boys will be at this game. UTSA is actually road dogs at Western Kentucky. Another big game in the conference. Jesse, who you got?
I'll be honest. I think this game's gonna be better than the UAB FAU game. Kind of jealous I'm not gonna be there. UTSA West Kentucky. I'm gonna ride the UTSA train, so I'm gonna take UTSA in a close one. I don't think they'll cover. Actually, West Kentucky's favored, so I think UTSA wins just in a close one.
Tip.
2 things with this game. Can Western Kentucky's defense stop Sincere McCormick and the UTSA offense? And the flip side of that, can UTSA's defense stop this high-flying WKU offense? I think I'm going to go with Western Kentucky at home, group of 5 guys, 5-0, and by 3 points, 2 or 3 points. So I guess I would take WK to cover.
Murph.
Yeah, I think Western Kentucky takes this game. Home field advantage. That place is always packed. At least it was when we went up there and played. And it's a smaller stadium like we've seen, but when that puppy's full, I mean, it feels like it's 40, 50,000. So Western Kentucky, man, home.
Zeke?
Yeah, I think Western Kentucky on this one. I think it's a lot like that Army game, but I don't think UTSA has the momentum they've had at times on the road. So Bailey Zappi, zap that ass.
Ooh, I like that. I'm riding the UTSA train. I think the run game is going to be enough to, where they can kind of control that crowd a little bit, just slow and steady, 5-6 yard gains at a time. I think UTSA wins that game. Does North Texas have a shot at Mizzou? They're plus 20. Jess?
Nope. Mizzou got beat by Vols by like 100 points.
Yeah, North Texas
is a bad football team.
They're struggling.
I'm kidding. Mizzou. We all agree.
Yeah, everybody's got Mizzou. Let's go over to the American. Here's a big game. Houston, we talked about them kind of being a dark horse, and they're 4-1 also. And their only loss is to Texas Tech in a close one, week 1. They're -6 at Tulane, Tulane just can't finish a game.
Nope. Goes back to my atrocious award. I thought Tulane was a pretty good ball club, and they are pretty good, but they can't, like you said, they can't finish the game. They ain't gonna finish this one. I like Houston.
Tip.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Houston on this one.
Jeff.
Houston.
Zeke.
Houston. Would love to know what that over is. It's too early in the week though.
You're in Houston right now, ain't you?
I am in Houston. I can go over there and scope them out a little bit.
Waltz your ass down there, talk to old Clayton Toon, make sure he's slinging that thing around.
I'll be at Sonny's tonight, don't you worry.
Yeah, I like Houston there too. Cincinnati, a little bit of a trap game for them. They're -29 at home. They are at home, which is good, but they're playing Temple. What you got, Jess?
Nah, Cincy will take care of Temple. I'm not worried about them.
Tip.
29's a lot of points, but I guarantee you this conversation's being had where since they're ranked 5th in the country now, they got to start running the score up, and they got to start beating these teams. They got to start winning and putting a lot of points on the board. So I'm going to go with Cincy, and I think they cover that 29.
Murph.
Yeah, I'm with Tip on this one. I think they beat them, and they got to start. They got to start making the move. So,
Zeke.
Cincy, I agree with Tip, but I think that has got to come from a defensive point. I think they got to shut them out or let them not score. And if I'm a betting man, I'm going Cincy first half.
Yeah, I was going to say I pull a page out of Zeke's book on the first half. I think they get up on them real quick. Could be 35-0 or something like that at halftime. End up, being 42-10 or something in that realm. But
I'm gonna have to start calling Zeke more, because every time I tell him out of bed, he's like, "Oh yeah, you should have done this. You should have took the first quarter. I didn't even know you could do fourth quarter bet."
Well, they tried to hide it. They tried to hide it until game day.
And
he said you shouldn't have took the whole game. You should have did the first quarter. That's what I did. I'm like, well, whatever. All right.
Or hit some live bets.
Flying under the radar, SMU, they're undefeated. They're -14 at Navy, coming off a big win versus UCF. Jesse, what you got?
Hate Navy. Kill them. I hope SMU destroys them.
Tip.
This game makes me very, very nervous. I think SMU wins, but they're favored by 14 on the road. I don't think they cover.
Jeff?
I agree. When you're playing these type of teams, SMU wins, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Zeke?
Shit, SMU wins. I don't know about that cover after last week, but I don't know. Maybe you got a money line in there.
Navy was weird like that last year. Didn't they get beat by like 50 points by BYU on like the first night of the year, and then they would beat. They're weird like that. It's just honestly, when you play a service academy, it's like, can you stop the option or not?
Yeah.
If you can't stop it, you're going to get smacked, and if you can stop it, the Navy's got no shot.
I think you don't need to practice in shorts for 2 weeks. I think that's what
you
UCF
got to be out there
did.
full pads.
I don't know what they did, but that D line from UCF, all those Auburn transfers, go back to where you came from because UCF don't need you.
That's a good take, Grisham, because those guys are supposed to be big and physical, and they just got exposed last week.
What's that guy's name? Big Cat?
Oh, Big Cat?
Big Cat.
That guy's like a pussy cat, man.
Big old pussy cat.
Whoa. Hot take. Yeah, no, I'm with you though. That Navy was, I mean, they're cutting them knees, and if you got any ounce of softness in you, it's real easy to give up in a game like that. That's a pain. Anyway, I think SMU though. I think Tanner Mordecai's been slinging the ball around. He's a dark horse. I'm moving on to my next dark horse Heisman candidate. Tanner Mordecai, SMU.
What are you on 4?
Yeah, but hell, he should have stayed at Oklahoma because he's better than Spencer Rattler is.
No doubt.
Facts.
All right. Then you got the other two teams that had interesting games. ECU's a good ball club. They're at UCF. UCF's -10. Jesse.
So let me go back to that. I was like making fun of Big Cat. Yeah, the defensive line played terrible, but the D court, they did not make any changes from what I watched. They just kept with a 3-man front, and it just wasn't working. So I think UCF still has the athletes. I'm not going to jump off the train. I think they'll handle East Carolina this weekend.
Tip.
They'll probably cover.
Yeah, I think UCF bounces back and wins this game.
Jeff.
Yeah, being at home, I think they take care of business.
Zeke.
Bounce house, baby. Buy it down to 9.5, and I think you're in there.
It's going to be the second week in a row I go against y'all with ECU. I think they're a really good team, and I think that bounce house ain't going to be bouncing much this week because they are disgruntled down in Orlando. They're ready to jump off the Gus bus after 5 games.
Number 1 disgruntled.
Yeah,
they lost their quarterback. It's fine.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and I think ECU. I mean, they're a really good team. I mean, they've just had we talked about.
The offense didn't lose in that game though. That's the thing. The offense didn't lose in that game. It was the defense.
Yeah,
quarterback actually played all right.
I'm going to take ECU on that, so I'll take that game. Memphis at Tulsa. Tulsa is favored in this game. I'm not sure if there's an injury or not. I'm not real sure what's going on there. They're -3.5. Jess, who you got?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. In the words, Bush can't be fooled again. I'm going to take Memphis.
You fool me, you can't get fooled again.
You know the thing.
Tip, what you got?
I'm going to go with Memphis on this one. Memphis money line.
Jeff?
Tulsa is so bad. Memphis.
I got to buy some Tulsa gear just to wear it.
Zeke?
I'm going Memphis money line, but it's kind of, in my opinion, in this game, which Memphis team is going to show up?
Yeah.
And which Tulsa team is going to show up? So it's like, I mean, I'd like to think that Memphis plays to their potential and can outplay Tulsa if they show up.
Yeah, I like Memphis in that one. Moving on to the MAC, there's some big ball games in the MAC now. First couple, some big favorites. You got Northern Illinois at Toledo. Toledo's -12.5. Jess?
I'm taking your Toledo. I like Toledo.
Tip?
Yep, I'm going to go with Toledo as well.
Murph?
Toledo.
Zeke?
Toledo.
Yeah, Toledo wins. I don't think they cover. Northern Illinois has been playing pretty well this year, so I think that game's a little closer.
No, they're good.
Man, The fact that Bowling Green is 14-point favorites against anybody is interesting. And I mean, I know Bowling Green beat Minnesota the other day, but they beat Akron, right?
Yeah.
Akron has not been good for a long time. Everybody there. Pick'em game: Miami, Ohio at Eastern Michigan. Jesse, who you got?
Eastern Michigan.
Tip.
Yeah, this one's tough. This one's basically just a coin flip. I'll go with the home team. I'll go with Eastern Michigan.
Murph.
Miami.
Zeke.
I'll take Eastern Michigan.
I like Miami here. Mac Hippenhammer, wide receiver, big game for Miami.
Hippenhammer.
Definitely got a big time name, old Hippenhammer. Man, Western Michigan's got a damn good team. Ball State with a big win against Army. Jesse, I don't think they can win again because they're supposed to be demoralized. Yeah.
Western Michigan needs to destroy them, demoralize them. They can't win another game.
Tip.
Western Michigan's sneaky good. I mean, we haven't been talked about a lot, but I mean, beat Pitt 3 weeks ago, beat San Jose State, just beat Buffalo last week.
Yeah.
I got Western Michigan this game. I think they cover.
Oh, I've talked about them.
Congratulations. Jeff Murphy, who you got?
Yeah, Western Michigan, man. They won me about $500 on Saturday covering for me. They were the last game of a little 14 parlay I had. So I'm on the Western Michigan.
Can I borrow
train.
some money?
Not the way you bet.
Zeke, what are you liking this one?
Man, I like Western Michigan. I like them pretty big. I think they rub Ball State's face in the dirt.
Yeah, I like Western Michigan. I think Ball State is going to be a little beat up after playing Army. So that defense is going to be a little sore. And I think Western Michigan puts up a bunch of points. Gigantic game, biggest game of the year in the MAC so far. It's for the driver's seat in the East. Buffalo at Kent State. And Dustin Crum, former Heisman candidate. Kent State's -5. Jess, who you got?
I'm gonna go with you, Sprouse. I'm gonna say Dustin Crum has a big game. Let's throw it out there. Kent State.
It. Tip.
Give me Kent State.
Wow, look at this. Murph?
Yeah, I'm not sold on Buffalo. I was a couple weeks back. I thought they were a lot better, but Kent State at home. I'll take the home team.
Zeke?
I'm going Buffalo.
Yeah, which Buffalo is gonna show up?
Which Dustin Crum is gonna show up? So with the right Buffalo and the wrong Dustin Crum, Buffalo wins that game.
It's so funny. We're so early. Like we feel like we're so late in the season, but most of these teams are 1-0 or 0-1 in the conference. All these conferences are wide open.
Yep.
But this is one where you had two of the favorites in the MAC playing. So I'm gonna take Kent State. I'm not confident at all about it, but just because I had them in the preseason, I'm taking them. But that's a big one in the MAC. Moving on to the Sun Belt, we got some big ones. Coastal, they're still rolling. Their schedule's going to start getting a little harder after this week. They're at Arkansas State. They're -19. Jesse, what do you think?
Sticking to my guns, man. I have them losing 2 to 3 ball games this year. Maybe it starts this weekend. I got Arkansas State.
Tip.
It doesn't start this weekend. Coastal Carolina.
Murph?
Yeah, Coastal train.
Zeke?
Coastal, they don't cover because Arkansas State is late and they got a pretty good passing game. And I think Coastal's got too much to lose as an undefeated team.
Yeah, Coastal wins. I mean, their schedule's working out where they're getting better and better and better, and then their opponents are getting a little bit harder as the weeks go. So I think Coastal wins that game. Georgia State -16 at La Monroe. Jess?
Georgia State.
Tip.
Yep, going Georgia State.
Murph?
G State.
Zeke?
Georgia State, and they'll cover if they'll put it on that ass like they can.
Yeah. I like Georgia State, man. I like their coach a lot. I've been watching him pregame. He gets them boys fired up, and they've just had a tough go.
This year where he was the headbutting guys?
Yeah, before the North Carolina game. Yeah, hell yeah. He was headbutting guys in the warm-ups. Yeah, I'll take Georgia State there as well. Georgia Southern Road Dogs at Troy. Troy is -4.5. Jess?
I'm taking Troy.
Tip?
Yep, going Troy.
Murph?
I'm proud of those guys at Georgia Southern. They rallied. I'm gonna take them on the road. I think they got something going right now.
Zeke?
T-Roy, baby, and they get after that 4.5.
I like Georgia Southern. I'm with you, Jeff. It was kind of what would they do after firing Coach Lunsford? Would they respond and have a big win? And they beat Arkansas State pretty good. Logan Wright had a massive game. So they found some running game. I think they keep it going. I think they beat Troy. South Alabama.
Wrong.
Yep. What you got?
Nothing.
Jess?
Sorry, I jumped the gun there. I looked at the one highlighted in yellow. We'll get to in a second. South Alabama at Texas State. Sorry, Sprouse. I'm taking South Alabama.
Okay, South Alabama is coming off their first loss of the year. They're only -3 is kind of low for a one-loss team, but I don't know. Tip, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's probably just because they're on the road. So I think they're really more favored by a touchdown, 6 points, 7 points. So I got South Alabama. I think they win by a touchdown.
Murph?
Yeah, I'm with you. They should have beat Louisiana, I thought, last week.
They played them tight.
Good ball club.
Zeke?
Y'all know I'm on the South Alabama train, and if any of you Texas State folks, I'm in town until Wednesday. Y'all want to talk about it?
Do y'all know that Texas State didn't sign one high school recruit this past signing period? Everybody that they signed was a JUCO or a transfer guy.
Wow.
How's that? So that being said, I don't think they did it on purpose. but amazing enough,
they're bragging about it.
They got good facilities, so they
got really good facilities.
They're a brand. They're a new program. I mean, they'll be all right. Texas, it's one of those things where you think like with these Florida and Texas schools that they can just recruit their backyard, but there's so many schools they're recruiting against, along with everybody else in the country coming into their backyard. But anyway, I'll take South Alabama in that game. I'm with you, Tip. I think they win by 7 or 8. Huge game.
This is the one I was looking at. I got goosebumps.
And this is going to be, if you're watching this live on a Tuesday evening, this is 1 week from right now. And why the hell they're playing this game on a Tuesday night, first of all, is idiotic from the scheduling standpoint. But App State at Louisiana, been looking forward to this game for 12 months. There's no line on it yet, but I got to imagine it's close. Jess, what do you think?
I love App State. I love the fans, but God, I'm sorry. I love Louisiana. I've been talking them up all summer. They've been squeaking by on some wins, but I think they're still one of the best football teams in a group of 5. They go to Louisiana. For the love of God, Louisiana, show up, support this team. You fill up that stadium. You have a good home field advantage. I think you can beat App State. I'm going to just throw it out there. I'm taking Louisiana. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, Justin. I love App State, but I'm sticking with my guns. I'm going to Louisiana.
Well, here's what we know. I know that there's not a line yet on this game, but we know App State's not going to cover it, whatever the hell it is. Keep giving the ball to Nate Noel. It might lay down on the 4-yard line. Tip, what do you think? Who wins that game?
I'm going with App State. I think they're going to be ready to play, and I think they go in there, and I'm going to be honest. I think they win by double digits.
I like it, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm App State. I think that defense shows up and puts the clamps on Louisiana's offense.
Zeke?
Sorry, Billy.
App State money line. There's no spread. You want to know why there's no spread on this game? Nate Noel. Nate, I'm rooting for you, baby. I love you, but there's no spread on the game because they don't know what the hell you're going to do.
They covered last week, though. They covered this past week.
Yeah, they did cover. Yeah, they beat Georgia State.
App State, it's going to be a tough environment to go in and play, but it's going to be a testament. That defense, like Murph said, is going to get after Levi Lewis and Billy Napier.
Here's a crazy take before you get to your Sprouse. I think these are 2 really good defenses. I'm saying that it's, a low-scoring game. I bet the final score is like a 14-10. I think it's going to be a defensive battle because these are 2 really good defenses.
I can get down with that.
24 points is what you're saying. No.
Yeah.
Take the under then, if you listen to Grisham.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just me just talking. Do
Well,
whatever I say, do the opposite.
You know, I actually, Grish, I like your take on the environment. However, I think because it's a Tuesday night, I think that crowd is going to be not good at all. Louisiana struggles with their students, and so I think putting this thing on a Tuesday night is going to hurt them even more than it normally would. Which, I don't get it, Jeff. I see you shaking your head. It's like you got
have a clue. Like, what you got the two best, possibly the two best teams. I just don't understand.
That's a viewer grab.
Yeah.
People want to view this on Tuesday night, so that's why they put it on.
No,
Tuesday
I'm
night.
saying put this bad boy on a Saturday night and get the place rocking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like that game as a Saturday 3:30 kind of game, CBS Sports, whatever. But anyway, so I'm going to take App State in that game. I think really close. I think Louisiana shows up and plays really, really well. I just think App State pulls away at the end.
All right, Louisiana, I'm the only one that got your back. I'm the only one.
Now, if I turn the TV on and that student section is packed, I'm changing my pick. But I'm just.
It's honestly. I mean, I'm serious.
Jr.
If they have a home field advantage, I think they can win that game. I mean, I really do.
Yeah,
if it was an App State, that place would be rocking.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever night of the week it is, we got to get down to Louisiana and figure out why the hell.
Yeah,
it's like that. One thing I know, one time somebody was tagging us in some stuff. They had some bar in Lafayette with LSU flags playing the damn stupid ass LSU song all night. So that's a problem. Their local community is not there either from a business standpoint. Anyway, let's get to the Mountain West. Boise State. They're at BYU. They're still getting some love from Vegas. And Boise's +5 on the road at BYU. Jesse, what do you think?
BYU.
Tip.
Yeah, Boise State coming off that tough loss at home against Nevada. I think that hurt them big times. I think BYU, and I think they win by the 5 points or more.
Murph.
Yeah, I'm on that same note. BYU, and I think they cover the 5.5. That running back for BYU last week, stud. I don't know if you got a chance to watch him, but he won me some money on a little Friday night parlay. So,
yeah, boy. Zeke.
I really like BYU, but I think Vegas has given them a little too much of a cushion on them. This game should be a pick 'em, and it should damn near be as fired up as that App State Louisiana game. So I'm gonna go off the chain here, and I'm gonna pick Boise State to upset BYU. Even though I love USC.
I like that.
I like it. I'm gonna go BYU. Boise just can't quite get into their groove on offense right now. I think they're missing Harsin, who left for Auburn, I think a little bit, and they just, since that UCF game, they just hadn't quite clicked all the way on offense. So I'm going BYU. Man, a couple weeks ago, I would have thought this was an easy one. San Jose State at Colorado State. Colorado State's -1 at home. Jess, what do you think?
San Jose State.
Tip.
I think I'm going to have to go with the home team. I'm going to have to go with Colorado State on this one.
Murph?
Yeah, Starkel's out. He was out last week. So that's going to be a big deal for them going forward. I don't know. I don't think they get him back. But, I think San Jose State pulls through. I think that defense steps up.
I do this every week, so I'm changing my pick.
Oh,
Colorado State.
Zeke.
I'm gonna go San Jose State. I mean, fuck it. I'm a gambling man.
All right, Lee Corso.
Yeah. I'll take San Jose State. Skip that one. New Mexico is at undefeated San Diego State. San Diego State -19.5. Jess?
Yeah, San Diego State.
Tip.
San Diego State, and they cover.
Murph?
A defense, man, is really good. It might be the best in the Mountain West. San Diego State covers.
Zeke?
I hate agreeing with all y'all, but I think you're all right.
Yeah, I'm going San Diego as well. Everybody taking Nevada at home versus New Mexico State.
I probably stay away betting wise.
Yeah, 31.5.
That's a lot.
That's
a first half bet. That's a first half
Agreed.
bet. They may be 31 at halftime.
Agreed.
So big one in the Mountain Division of the Mountain West. Wyoming at Air Force. Air Force at home -4. Man, we all like Wyoming. You know, we all like Air Force too. Jesse, what do you think?
Just who's favored? Is it Air Force? Air Force is favored to win this game?
Air Force at -4.
Wow. I'm going to go Wyoming. I don't know. I'm going to Wyoming. I like them.
I like their colors.
No. Look, they're undefeated. I think I've been on the Wyoming train, but a part of me, Air Force at home, and just Air Force is Air Force. You just never know. In my opinion, I just never know if Air Force is going to show up and just beat the crap out of somebody, or if Wyoming going to show up and just run the ball, ground and pound, get up by 21 points. Air Force can't get back. But yeah, I'm going to take Wyoming. See if they stay undefeated. Sorry.
Tip.
Which Wyoming team's going to show up in this game? They did not look very good at all against UConn. And they've had a week off. Don't know if that's going to benefit them or not. But I'm going to go Air Force at home.
Murph?
Had a chance to hang out with an Air Force legend this past weekend. Mr. Jason Collins got me fired up. Air Force at the elevation. Those Falcons are going to be soaring past the Cowboys.
I like it. Zeke?
Wyoming's in elevation too, are they not?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but
I've got Wyoming in this. I mean, I've got Wyoming.
I got to go Air Force. Air Force is a play away from
time.
Pardon me? Air Force is a play away from being undefeated right now.
Reference.
And I think their defense has been rolling all season long. Their offense is rolling, their quarterback's running all over the place. And then I'm looking at Air Force's schedule right now. They got a tough stretch here. So they're home versus Wyoming, and they're at Boise, and then they're home versus San Diego State, and then they're home versus Army. So they got a nice, tough stretch. But I'm going to take them to win this one. I think the defense, it plays lights out. So I'm taking Air Force there. That's all the games this week. Zeke, do you like anything enough to put a parlay together for us, or are you still working on that?
I've got a little bit of something, but I don't want to be criticized like I was that guy who called me out on Twitter. A lot of favorites. Yeah, this is Monday night, brother. But
well, I mean, are you looking to make a controversy, or are you looking to win money? I mean, didn't you come up $900 this weekend?
Well, I think the one favor we all agreed on that we didn't want to pick was Memphis at Tulsa. Tulsa's favored 3.5. I think we were all on the same page. Take Memphis money line on that.
Here's what I got. I got a 6-game parlay right now that I would love to have a couple first bet options that I'd like to put in there. First half bets. And they won't give me that until later in the week. In the first quarters, they won't give you till Saturday. Grisham, talk to me on Saturday. But I got Boise State plus 5.5. I got SMU minus 13.5. UAB minus 4.5. And I just threw this in there. Missouri beats North Texas by about 100. I got Buffalo plus 5.5 at Kent State. And then I've got the Memphis plus 3.5 because I think they beat Tulsa. So that's a 6-game parlay. I don't know what it pays out yet because I hadn't submitted it. But we're about to find out.
I like it. Are you hitting submit here live on the air?
Yeah, it's 1,025.
There we go.
$25. Low risk, high upside. Get you some of that.
I like it. I like it, Zeke. Well, let's go to last call, and then we'll get out of here. Murph, you want to take over for last call here? I like your Blue Raider takes, but so that's why I'm awarding you last call today.
Yeah, man, I got it. Last call. Recap the MTSU weekend real quick. MTSU, huge win in conference. They have a nice stretch coming up. for the schedule. But one thing to take off just general off the whole weekend, every game matters from this point forward. We're in conference play. Bring your best because every week is something new, man. We've seen a lot of chameleons these last couple of weeks. Which team's going to show up? The good version or the bad? So bring your best, man. We got another great weekend and week of college football, Group of 5. Let's keep it rolling, fellas. And we've been hot on the picks here last couple of weeks, coming up some money. So stay tuned.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. And UAB fans, FAU fans, me and the Swag Bear, we'll see you in Birmingham. We already did the Twitter poll. We know me and Jesse are going to have a much better time than the rest of you clowns.
On
that was a loaded poll.
I need a damn line on that.
I'm videoing the whole thing. I got a GoPro. We right here.
Yeah, tape it to your forehead. That'd be a good view.
All right. Well,
and then the rest of these guys will be in Bowling Green, Kentucky for a gigantic, big Conference USA games. Western Kentucky hosting UTSA. Hit us up on the Twitter, Jesse, sorry. DM us. We need to know, where do we tailgate? Where do we eat? Where do we drink? That's all we need to know. And we'll find our way there, and we'll have a damn good time.
And Jeff, Zeke, make sure y'all look at what Sincere McCormick's, his calves and glutes. Right?
Well, I'll stay away from the glutes. I'll just keep an eye on the calves.
Well,
we'll figure out where your eyes are on that GoPro.
Zeke, just try
My eyes are watering, boys.
Just try to keep your pants on this weekend. Do the best you can.
Hey, if you eat the worm comes out, apparently.
Well, guys, we're gonna let y'all go. As always, like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Group of 5 Guys, and join the Facebook group, Group of 5 Guys. We will see you in Birmingham and in Bowling Green. Group of 5 Guys, we're out of here.